European Union is in crisis. The Bloc could be crippled as Romania challenges Brussels supremacy. There are just too many member states of the European Union wanting to leave. One of them, as we know, has been voted on by England, but Poland has a problem, France, Italy, Spain have a problem, and many other Eastern Bloc nations as well. Romania has dealt the European Union a fresh blow Friday night because it became the latest country to rule that European Union, EU treaties do not override national laws. But that's exactly what the European Union wants to do. It wants to break the national laws of each member state, and that's not supposed to be happening. The Romanian Constitutional Court disputed a European Court of Justice ruling which decreed that judges in Romania should put European Union law above domestic legislation. It comes as the EU is engaged in a battle with Poland over Warsaw's defiance of supremacy of EU laws. Professor Gavin Barrett, an expert in EU law at University College Dublin, said the European Union could not function effectively without the supremacy of its laws being accepted. You know, the European Union has too many things going against it to be a union. They wanted to have a union just, for example, as we have in the United States. First of all, they don't have a common language in Europe, as they do in the United States. There are just too many things wrong. And what has come to pass is that Germany, and together with France, want to dominate the whole of the European Union. Well, that's not going to happen. That's not going to be accepted. So anyway, he told the Telegraph much of the power of the European Union derives from EU law operating uniformly and effectively right across the territory of all the 27 member states. Take that away, and each member state turns into a separate legal zone where the rules on, say, the single market and criminal justice cooperation differ from one place to the next. In other words, you may end up with no unified legal system, no single market, and in effect, a crippled European Union. In its own way, this development is a crisis of greater significance than Brexit has ever been. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. The EU has survived Brexit, he said, but if the view becomes widespread that supremacy no longer holds sway in national courts, then the European Union won't survive, at least not in its present form. All EU member states have to agree to a treaty provision that EU law overrides national law, and according to membership treaties, the European Court of Justice, cc.jpg, in Luxembourg is the final arbiter. Under the Romanian constitution, the supremacy of EU law is accepted. But when there is a clash with domestic legislation, judges are allowed to decide that domestic legislation is superior to EU law. Doubts have therefore been raised about Romania's commitment to European project, and Romania could be handed a multi-million euro fine if it fails to comply with the ruling of the cc.jpg. Poland has already been given an $84 million fine. And, obviously these Eastern Bloc countries are not rich. And these fines are really hurting their economies. In an interview with Financial Times, Didier Reynders, the EU Justice Commissioner, said the Bloc could take legal action against Romania. Referencing similar disputes with Germany, he said that the EU would have to go down the legal route if Bucharest, Romania, does not provide assurances that the supremacy of the EU would be accepted. He said, we have received a reaction from Romanian government saying, no, we want to have full respect of primacy, but in the framework of the Romanian constitution. So it's not exactly the answer that we have received from the German government without any conditions. I don't know. I expect, I don't think I think a lot of these member states just have had it with Europe, the European Union. It's not worth being in the Union, really. There's just too many reasons not to be in the Union. Anyway, please leave your comments on this, and thank you for your support. This is by Sean Malidi on Express UK.